Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, Text number 36. Appearance of demon Vritrasura. It's a big verse, it's in prose, so just break up in small portions. Nahi virodha ubhayan bhagavati aparimita gunagana ishvare navaghaya mahatmye arvachina vikalpa vitarka vichara pramana bhasa kutarka shastra kalilanata kalilanta karanashraya duravagraha vadinam vivadana vasara duravagraha vadinam vivadana vasara uparata samasta maya maye kevala evatma mayam antardhaya ko nu artho durghata iva bhavati swarupa dvaya bhava durgata iva bhavati swarupa dvaya bhava. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all contradictions can be reconciled in you. O Lord, since you are the Supreme Person, the reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities, the Supreme Controller, your unlimited glories are inconceivable to the conditioned souls. Many modern theologians argue about the right and wrong without knowing what is actually right. Their arguments are always false and their judgments inconclusive because they have no authorized evidence with which to gain knowledge of you. Because their minds are agitated by scriptures containing false conclusions, they are unable to understand the truth concerning you. Furthermore, because of polluted eagerness to arrive at the right conclusion, their theories are incapable of revealing you, who are transcendental to their material conceptions. You are one without a second, and therefore, in you, contradictions like doing and not doing, happiness and distress are not contradictory. Your potency is so great that it can do and undo anything as you like. With the help of that potency, what is impossible for you? Since there is no duality in your constitutional position, you can do everything by the influence of your energy. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being self-sufficient, is full of transcendental bliss, Atma Rama. He enjoys bliss in two ways: when he appears happy and when he appears distressed. Distinctions and contradictions are impossible in him because only from him have they emanated. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a reservoir of all knowledge, all potency, all strength, opulence, and influence. There is no limit to his powers. Since he is full in all transcendental attributes, nothing abominable from the material world can exist in him. He is transcendental and spiritual, and therefore conceptions of material happiness and distress do not apply to him. We should not be astonished to find contradictions in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, there are no contradictions. That is the meaning of his being supreme. Because he is all-powerful, he is not subject to the conditioned soul's arguments regarding his existence or non-existence. He is pleased to protect his devotees by killing their enemies. He enjoys both the killing and the protection. Such freedom from duality applies not only to the Lord but also to his devotees. In Vrindavan, the damsels of Rajabhumi enjoy transcendental bliss in the company of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and they feel the same transcendental bliss in separation when Krishna and Balaram leave Vrindavan for Mathura. There is no question of material pains or pleasures for either the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his pure devotees, although they are sometimes superficially said to be distressed or happy. One who is Atma Rama is blissful in both ways. Non-devotees cannot understand the contradictions present in the Supreme Lord or his devotees. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati, the transcendental pastimes can be understood through devotional service. To non-devotees, they are inconceivable. Achintya khalu ye bhava natam starkena yojayet. The Supreme Lord and his form, name, pastimes and paraphernalia are inconceivable to non-devotees. And one should not try to understand such realities simply by logical arguments. They will not bring one to the right conclusion about the absolute truth. So here we are seeing the Devatas, all the demigods are offering prayers to Lord Vishnu, who has appeared in the midst of them to save them, to protect them from the demon Vritrasura. So as the Lord has appeared, after being pleased with the prayers of the Devatas are further glorifying the Lord with more prayers. So this is a prayer that has been offered by the Devatas to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. And in this prayer, they are praying, they are talking about how the Lord is inconceivable and how the Lord is so great, how the Lord can do anything, and how it is so difficult for Lord's inconceivable potencies to be understood by a common man. And it is further said that there are no dualities in the Lord. Dualities apply only to a conditioned soul, happiness and distress. For the Lord, there is no happiness and distress. The example that is being given here, protecting somebody is happiness, killing somebody is distress. But the Lord takes pleasure in both protecting someone and killing someone. How can the Lord take pleasure in protecting someone and killing someone? Because it's the Lord who is doing it. So anything that the Lord does is transcendental. So his acts of killing is also transcendental. And we have seen in so many examples in the Krishna book, when the Lord took away the life of Putana, the Lord sent him to the spiritual kingdom. He gave her, sent her. The Lord sent her to the spiritual kingdom. He gave her the position that of Mother Yashoda. So Lord's killing is also wonderful. This non-devotees cannot understand. Only devotees can understand, because Devotees have faith in the inconceivable, in the transcendental potency of the Lord, about Him being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all these pastimes with their true purports are revealed to the devotees in the heart. That is what this whole prayer is all about. And here it is said that your potency is so great that you can do and undo anything as you like. So the Lord can do and undo. So there is a pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that talks about how the Lord wants to protect His devotees. He did something and then He undid it. Do and undo anything as you like. So this is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing in Jagannath Puri after he took sannyas. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had many devotees. So some of his favorite devotees were Ramananda Raya and so many others. So Ramananda Raya, he had 5 brothers. Ramananda Raya's father was Bhavananda Raya. And Bhavananda Raya's 5 sons were Ramananda Raya, Gopinath Pattanayaka, Vaninatha, Kalanidhi, and Sudhanidhi. These were the 5 sons of Bhavananda Raya, of whom Ramananda Raya was the most favorite. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed very confidential topics about love of Radha and Krishna with Ramananda Raya. So now this pastime, it's connected to Ramananda Raya's brother, Gopinath Pattanayaka, and one more of his brother, Vaninatha. So one day, while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in Puri, people brought disturbing news to him. And that news was that Gopinath Pattanayaka has been punished very severely by the eldest son of the king, King Prataparudra. Gopinath Pattanayaka was put into a changa. Changa is basically, during those days, the method for capital punishment, for death sentence. So changa is a place where a person is put on a raised platform, and then below the platform on the floor, there are many upright swords, pointing sharp swords. They are placed fixed on the ground, and they're all pointing upwards like this. And there is a raised platform, and the person is put there, and then he will be pushed. And so if he is pushed, he will fall on the bed of swords and he will die. This was the method of punishment. So all devotees and different people came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said that Gopinath Pattanayaka has been raised on the changa by the eldest son of the king, and he's about to die. So please do something. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, okay, what is the matter? Why has all these things happened? Please explain. So then they started explaining how this situation, why things have come to this situation. So Gopinath Pattanayaka, he was basically employed by the government, by the king, as a collector. He was supposed to collect taxes and different money from the subjects in and around Puri. And he was supposed to deposit it in the state treasury, the government's money that was. So Gopinath, what he had done, he had collected all the money, but he had not deposited the full amount that he was supposed to deposit. He had deposited 2 lakh kaudis of conch shell less. These were the units of currency during that time. 200,000 kaudis of conch shell. Currency used to be in terms of conch shells during those time. He had deposited it less. So the government was trying to realize the money from him, and then he was not paying up. So then Gopinath Pattanayaka, he said, okay, I have 10 to 12 good horses. Why not you take away my horses, give me a proper price for it, with which I will pay the amount. And the balance amount, I will pay it later. So the king said, okay, we will take your 10 to 12 horses and we'll pay a price for you. So then the king, so Gopinath Pattanayaka brought the 10 to 12 horses to the king's palace and he says, you can give a proper price. And the king delegated this task to his eldest son. His eldest son was very good in estimating the price of the horse. So he told his eldest son, go look at the horses along with your ministers and friend and estimate the price of the horse and give him the money. So the eldest son comes. He meets Gopinath Pattanayaka with the horse. And he is evaluating the horse. And this son, the eldest son, what he does, he purposefully quotes a price. He quotes the price far lesser than what the original price should have been. And this son, he had one peculiar characteristic, a peculiar trait in him. That was his swabhava. Sometimes, people have peculiar bodily swabhava, something like that. So this was his nature. His nature was, he would always keep turning his neck like this and he would look up in the sky. Somehow he had that habit. Like this he would be. So he quoted the price of the horse, less price, and then started looking up like this. So it's like, it appears that you're neglecting somebody or you're ridiculing somebody. This behavior appears like that. But that was his nature somehow. So Gopinath Pattanayaka, so he becomes very angry. What is this? He's not even giving me a proper price. And after saying this price, he's just looking like this, turning his neck upwards to the sky. So then Gopinath Pattanayaka, he criticized the eldest son of the king. Now you may ask, how can he criticize? Because he was the king, he was a prince. Because Gopinath Pattanayaka had a very good relationship with King Prataparudra. Because King Prataparudra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were devotees. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhavananda Raya and all his 5 sons were devotees. So he had a good relationship. So he somehow he criticized him because he was angry. And he said to him, you have to pay a proper price for my horses, not a reduced price. Because my horses don't look up like this towards the sky. Turn their necks and look up towards the sky. He also jokingly said this, because he was angry. So this angered the prince very much. How dare he speak like this? Telling me that my horses don't look up and turn their necks left and right. So Gopinath Pattanayaka goes to the king and he complains to the king. And he gives false information about, the prince goes to the king and he gives false information about Gopinath Pattanayaka, false accusations that he is not going to pay and he has squandered away the money. He must have spent the money somewhere. So if you give permission to me, I will realize all the money that is due to the government by putting him on the changa. So king said, well, you can do whatever you want. The money of the government should be realized. Now here, he only asked permission from the king to put on the changa, not to kill him on the changa. Putting on the changa is like, he becomes afraid and then he pays up the money. So king said, if you can use any means to realize the money, that's all I want. But the prince, what he did, he put him up on the changa and he was about to kill him because he had got angered by his comment that my horses don't look left and right and up and down. So the devotees narrated it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now this is his state, he is almost about to die, please do something. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you see, it is the state money, it is the duty of the king to realize the money, the king is not at fault. Why Gopinath Pattanayaka has squandered away the money in seeing dancing girls and in sense gratification? He should have paid back the money. So what can I do in this? I am helpless. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's reply was. And the devotees were all forcing him, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, nothing can be done. He has to suffer. And then, soon, while all this was happening, everybody was very, in great anxiety. Another news comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from some another messengers that Vaninatha Vaninatha, he also has been arrested along with his family members, because Vaninatha was the brother of Gopinath Pattanayaka. So probably because the brother was not paying up, so they arrested one of them were not paying up, so they arrested the other brother also. Vaninatha has also been arrested. So everybody, there were many devotees there, Swarup Damodar was there and different devotees were there. They all fell at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Bhavananda Raya and all the brothers there and all his sons, all the 5 brothers, they have been your faithful servants, and at this point of time, if you reject them, please do something. And they all started begging to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very angry. He says, first of all, he squandered away the money. This is state money. The government has the right to realize the money. And now you are asking me to do something. What can I do? You want me to go and spread my cloth and beg in front of the king for the money? I cannot do that. So all the devotees became taken aback. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only person who can undo this. Now this whole thing happened because of what? It was the Lord's arrangement only, right? The Lord only made an arrangement for a pure devotees' children. They were also like pure, they were also great devotees. Lord only made this arrangement for him to be raised to the Changa and about to be killed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, if anyone can undo this, it is only Jagannatha who can undo this. He has done it and he only can undo it. So all of you should go and pray to Lord Jagannatha. So the Ishvara Jagannatha yar hate sarva artha. Ishvara Jagannatha, he is the Ishvara. Yar hate sarva artha. He has all the power, all the potency to do what? Kartum akartum. To do and to undo. Anyatha karite samartha. He has the samartha, the potency to do and undo. So in today's verse also, the demigods are praying that you can do also and undo also. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just because in the heart Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows Gopinath Pattanayaka is my devotee, Vaninath is my devotee, all of them are my devotees. But externally, he wanted to maintain the principles. Externally, he becomes angry. He says he should have returned. What fault is there? So the moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this, that the Lord can do anything and you should pray to the Lord to save him, at that time, instantly, there was another officer of King Pratap Rudra. His name was Hari Chandana. He was a responsible officer. And so Hari Chandana, so news spread everywhere that this is what is happening to Bhavananda Raya's 2 sons. So Hari Chandana goes to the king directly. Now the king was not aware that he has been raised on the Changa. And he was about, because king only said, do anything to realize the money. So Hari Chandana goes to the king and he tells the king, what are you doing, my lord? So king asks, what has happened? He says, Gopinath Pattanayaka has been raised on the Changa and he's about to be killed by your son. So what is, he is a very nice, faithful servant, and to kill a servant just for realizing some money is not in this way is not a good behavior. And then he reasoned out to the king that how will the government gain anything if you kill him, because then anyway the money will not be realized. He will also die, the government will also lose. It's like a lose-lose situation. So instead, why don't you give him some time, pay the right price for his horses, and the balance money give him some time to repay over a period of time. So the king said, yes, that's the right thing to do. Who told him to be killed? I never said this to be done. So please go and adjust everything. And immediately, Hari Chandana goes to the place Changa where he was about to be killed, and he talks to the eldest son, the prince, that this is what the king's order is, and he must be saved, and we should buy his horses, give him the right price, and give him some time to repay the money. So this is how. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just heard the cries of the petitions of the devotees, and then he decided to undo it. Lord Jagannath only decided to do this, and then he decided to undo it. And so Gopinath Pattanayaka was saved. He was brought down from the Changa, and everything was settled. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, so this news reached, so everybody was very happy that Mahaprabhu has done this, and Mahaprabhu said it's the blessings of Jagannath. Then Mahaprabhu asks the devotees, okay, Gopinath Pattanayaka was on the Changa and he was brought down. When Vaninatha was arrested along with his family and he was also brought to that place, what was Vaninatha doing? So this is what Vaninatha was doing, which devotees replied. Shei kahe, the devotee said at that time, Vaninatha nirbhaya loy Krishna naam. Hare Krishna kahe avishram. What was Vaninatha doing? Nirbhaya loy Krishna naam. He was fearlessly and incessantly Hare Krishna kahe avishram. Vishram means with pause, with rest, with break. Avishram Krishna naam. So messenger replied, he was fearlessly and incessantly chanting the Maha Mantra. And Prabhupada in the translation writes, in the verses Hare Krishna, Prabhupada in the translation is writing, he was incessantly and fearlessly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then further, how was he chanting? He didn't have his bead bag at that time with him. So he says, Sankhya lagi dui hate angulite lekha sahasradi purna hoile ange kate rekha. Sankhya lagi dui hate angulite lekha sahasradi purna hoile ange kate rekha. That means he was chanting on his hands and counting, and every time he had finished chanting 1,000 times, he would make a mark on his body. So even at that time, he was chanting, and not only chanting, he was counting and chanting. That is the importance of our 16 rounds, finishing the total number of rounds that we chant every day. So when Mahaprabhu heard this, how did he respond? How did Mahaprabhu feel? Shuni Mahaprabhu hoila parama ananda ke bujite pare gaurer kripa chanda bandha. So Mahaprabhu heard this and he was very pleased. He was very happy. Hearing this news, the Lord was very pleased. Who can understand the mercy of the Lord upon his devotees? So here we see that the Lord performs inconceivable pastimes. He does, he undoes, and he does all these things for establishing dharma, for teaching his devotees, and also to exchange loving, to have loving exchanges between all his devotees. So we saw how everything got adjusted by Mahaprabhu's desire. And how Mahaprabhu, why he did and undid? Because all these devotees, all of them were devotees of Lord Chaitanya. And Mahaprabhu was satisfied and happy with them. So actually, even in devotee, just like Krishna can do, undo anything, anytime. He can do it with anyone, even if they are non-devotees. So similarly, Prabhupada writes, for a devotee also, Krishna can do and undo anything in his life, provided he satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are so many times, so many instances where something has happened to us and it has to be undone, and we don't know how to do it. Actually, we needn't bother about making it undone, about undoing it. All that we need to bother about it, I want to satisfy the Lord always. If I satisfy the Lord, and if the Lord desires it to be undone, it can be undone in my life. Everything will be adjusted. Just like, see, Mahaprabhu adjusted everything immediately. So, Prabhupada writes that if a devotee is strongly attached to the chanting of the holy name, then anything can be done and undone by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his life. He will do what is best for him. So, Prabhupada writes very nicely, at the present moment, no other yajna is possible. The only yajna is Sankirtan yajna. That is possible. So if the Sankirtana yajna is taken seriously all over the world, Sankirtan yajna, everything will be adjusted immediately everything. So today everyone is trying to look for adjustments to the world situation. And Prabhupada is saying, by Sankirtana, not only things will get adjusted immediately, everything will get adjusted immediately. Further, Prabhupada writes, we must concentrate our mind on the sound vibration, and in that way, everything will be revealed one after the other. The form, the qualities, the pastimes, and that is the way of cultivating spiritual realization. So if you want spiritual realization, that is what is important. We don't want just spiritual philosophy and theory. Yeah, that is all good. But there should be a realization that by chanting, everything can be adjusted, everything can be revealed. Further, in another place, Prabhupada writes that in the Soulful Japa, this quote came recently. In the Purport, Prabhupada is writing in today's Purport that non-devotees, things are not revealed to them. It's only the devotees where things get revealed to them because of their devotion. So Prabhupada is writing, by chanting more and more, your association becomes more and more intimate, and then what happens? Then everything is disclosed to you. Everything becomes adjusted in your life. Everything becomes revealed to you. Everything is disclosed to you. And further, like this, Prabhupada goes on explaining the significance, the importance, the potency of the holy name. He says, everything will be solved in your life. Further, he says, everything will become perfect in your life. So just see, this is the potency of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra attentively. Everything is disclosed, everything is revealed, everything is adjusted. Everything becomes perfect in life. And that is why in all, and Prabhupada is saying this because that's his conviction, he has realization, and that's what even the scriptures are saying. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. All your actions will be successful. Further it says, Sarva Siddhi Hoya. Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. All actions will be successful. Sarva Siddhi Hoya. Naam Laite. All perfections you will get. And of course, this requires some level of chanting and chanting purely. But even if you are not come to the stage of pure chanting, even if you are on the stage of Namabhas, it is saying, Namabhasai hoye sarva papashaya. All the papas will disappear and you will be eligible for liberation. So, sarva karma krita hoya, sarva siddhi hoya, sarva papashaya. These are the potencies, the glories of the holy name. And only when a devotee takes to this, everything becomes revealed. So if we want to understand the Lord's inconceivable qualities and characteristics, all that we need to do is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra very sincerely, very attentively, very seriously, and then surely the Lord will be pleased with us, and you will see how your life will be full of bliss and happiness. That Satchid Ananda experience, you will be able to get it even in this human form of life, even in this planet. It is not impossible. It is very much possible. So these are the prayers that the Devatas are offering to Krishna, how he is inconceivable, and by devotional service he can be realized. And further the prayers will continue, which we shall see next class. We'll close here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.